Today we're going to be going over and demoing the Graco Quickshot handheld airless sprayer. This is one of their newest outfits. It's new as of 2023. Comes with a short hose, produces up to 2200 PSI, is designed for jobs about 3 gallons per minute or less, can go with a maximum tip size of a 16 thousandths tip, and it is suitable for water or solvent-borne paint finishes. Per charge on a battery, you get about a 1 to 1.5 gallons out of a battery. The kit comes with 2 batteries, and you can use it with either solvent or water-based paints. For solvent-based paints, they include a grounding adapter, and that's important to use so that you don't get shocked when you're spraying solvent. Some of your solvent can get static buildup while spraying, and so this will keep you from getting a minor shock. And you can actually just plug it in to a grounding source. This is meant to go into your outlet of a house outlet. That there would go into the grounding portion of a normal outlet. The third prong is your grounding outlet. And then the bottom of this would actually screw in to the grounding portion of the bottom of the spray rig. So if you're shooting hot solvents or getting charge issues, you definitely would want to use this to plug in back to your grounding source to prevent a static discharge while you're spraying if you're getting shocked a lot while using this. You get 2 tips, a 414 and a 210 tip. So the gun's pressure adjust is on the back here. So nice, quick, easy pressure adjustment on the fly while you're using it. The gun also, on a normal fine finish airless tip that you see, and we'll show you that, there's a seal that you usually have to put on the back of the tip. Standard airless tip comes with a black seal like that. But in the fine finish Graco tips, there's a yellow tip that you're supposed to use, because on normal airless guns, there's not a solvent resistant seal here. What they've done on the Quickshot, so that you don't have to put that yellow seal on here and save you a little bit of time, that seal's been integrated into the front of the gun. The other thing that's nice about this uses a standard airless thread. So if you wanted to use a small extension and or a Quickshot, say you're trying to just extend the gun 6 inches, or a Quickshot to kind of reduce any spitting or dripping, you can thread a standard extension on here. The hose is super short. So on this particular one, while it does come with a prime valve, I wouldn't recommend using that prime valve. If you use the prime valve, it'll actually kick material back up into this cup usually. And because it's such a small hose, you're not going to use much material at all to flush the whole system. It'll only take a couple ounces. We'll show you that quick, easy cleanup. What this is going to be suited for best is smaller projects, as we mentioned, under 3 gallons per job. And the pump itself is really only designed to use for about 150 to 200 gallons of total use. So this isn't a rig that you're going to want to do massive paint projects on. But if you're doing, say, occasional small kitchen door faces on the site, or window trim, or doors, and you're doing a handful of those at a time, and it's a couple gallon for the total project, it's a nice, convenient option. It's portable enough. It's a little less portable than the old handhelds, but it does hold up better. The pump on this is rated around that 200 gallons. Those old handhelds were 100 to 150, and it seems like this tends to hold up a little better than those did. If you've ever had like a Ultra or an Ultramax handheld, this will hold up a little bit stronger than that. And instead of true handheld, it's kind of clips in on the side here. I will say it's not quite as convenient as the old handheld, which we'll show you, as a Graco handheld is. But it's also got a 1-quart hopper capacity on it, so it holds a little more material. And unlike the old handhelds that had that cup that you had to deal with constantly, kind of often would leak on the bottom, this will just fill from the top, and we've eliminated that cup issue. So it's a gravity feed design. Material feeds into the pump and goes straight through. There's no liners for this, but there's such a small amount of material, it's a pretty quick cleanup. So like I was saying, the handhelds, as you see, the Quickshot's kind of the new, kind of an optional replacement for them. These are the cups. They're only 32 ounces instead of a quart. And then I've found they often end up leaking here, and they can be harder to prime. You have to suck the bag in and get the material to start priming and pumping before you flip the spray. It's a little more, they're just not quite as easy to get going, and they're a lot more finicky, a lot more dripping and leaking, and tend to need more maintenance and repair. Because this is that gravity cup design, I found that it tends to be more forgiving as far as setup, and you don't have a leak point where the cup's seating against the bottom of the pump. And then the priming really on this one, on those you have to prime them to get them to start. On this one, you can pretty much just stay in the spray mode and not even prime it because it's not much material. So, and like I mentioned, unlike on this, to use the solvent, you would need to put this seal on the back of your tip so that the tip doesn't, so that the pump head doesn't wear. On this one, that solvent resistant seal is built in right into the gun. So the cup on this is removable. So for cleanup or refill, you end up simply pushing that and twisting, and then this cup comes out. And then you could always put a cap or something under there to prevent it from leaking. But it is very easy to clean up. It's a little more secure lock-in comparatively. And so that's the basics of the unit. Now we're going to go ahead and spray. We'll be spraying Sherwin Williams Emerald, actually, which is a cabinet finish, very popular. And we'll kind of go through two tips here. This gun will handle up to a 16 thousandths tip. Today we're going to shoot with a 212 and a 514. So those are going to, the 212 is a great trim finish tip if you're doing windows or door trim. And then the 514 would be a little bit wider. That might be something to use on, say, a garage door, something a little bit bigger surface. And we'll show you how it performs with both those. This unit only comes as solvent and waterborne compatible. On the handhelds, you have different price points on the handhelds based on what you're spraying. So they have the waterborne version only that you can get for a little bit less expensive, couple $100. Challenge with that is it won't shoot your solvent-bornes. This one will shoot any solvent-borne, but won't shoot paint that's extremely thick. So really any cabinet finish should be pretty good through here. Anything up to Renner is okay. Renner or even some Malaysia product, but you only have 2,000 pounds to atomize. So a really heavy, thick-bodied wall latex may not get atomized extremely easily through this. All right, so we'll go ahead and load up. A little emerald urethane, which is a cabinet grade finish. For this video, I'm not going to use the waist belt. You can just hold it in your hand. As I mentioned, I don't prime it because it only takes 2 seconds to get the paint through the line. This is emerald unthin, and we're at the max pressure. So as you can see, it's doing a pretty good job atomizing. That's unthinned emerald. We'll do some wood here. So it breaks up really quite nice. You can see it's coming out pretty smooth. We'll keep going on this board. So that's the smaller tip. That's the 210. We'll bump up a little bit bigger, but it atomizes smooth. You can also back down that pressure a little bit. So this is at about half pressure. So at the low pressure, you get a little bit more orange peel on the edge, but there's hardly any overspray. And quite a bit of control. So it's very nice control, very handy. This could go on the waist belt, or you could put it on the ground but very portable and easy to use. The gun also has a safety built in. So if you do that, it won't pull you the trigger, and that keeps you safe using it. Okay, so as mentioned, you can go with the standard black seal instead of having to switch to the yellow seal. So your tip comes off ready to go. And so you don't have to end up dealing with the yellow seal and changing it out, which makes it convenient, a little less to fuss with in between your change outs. So I went ahead, I've put the black tips on the back. One thing I noticed, the thread length on the front of this gun is quite long, so it's a little different to screw on. But I do like having the safety on so you don't have any risk of hurting yourself. That's a nice, easy feature. And this is a 510 tip, so wider pattern. And I'll bump that pressure. I'm at about 1,000 PSI. And you can see it does still doing a good job atomizing. Even at 1,000 PSI, it's doing a great job atomizing emerald urethane. So great, handy, small, compact, fast acting, little easier to use than the handheld as far as cup leaking and those kind of seal issues. No priming needed. So for cleanup on this, we'll go ahead and remove the cup, and we'll take that over and get the cup clean, and then we'll flow some water through the gun to clean that out. So because it's pretty easy to remove, you can take the lid off, dump back your extra paint, which keeps paint savings quite nice too. You don't lose any paint on cleanup. The shell on this isn't disposable. The handhelds are disposable, but they don't tend to pour out as easily, and they're a little bit harder to deal with as far as reloading. So you spend more in consumables on the handhelds compared to this. And then once you're done kind of pouring what's left, you can remove the cup. We'll take that over and we'll just wash that out with water, and then I'll be back and we'll flush the pump. All right, so once I clean the cup out, the little strain in the bottom is removable, and you can clean that separate and easily. And then you can load the cup back into the gun here, lock it in, put some whatever the proper cleaning solution is based on the paint you're spraying, put the lid on, and then you'll just fire enough through the gun until you get to cleaner. Again, I don't use the prime on this to clean because it's such a small hose. You're not going to use much material to get to clean. All right. And I'll go ahead and flip the tip, make that a little quicker. At this point, I got water coming through, as you can see. I throw my tip in the water, clean it up, and I'm done. So it took me about 3-4 minutes to do total cleanup. So a lot less cleanup than a standard airless, super convenient, portable, atomizes well for mid viscosity product, and lasts a pretty decent time. I will say if you're going to do large jobs, obviously the limitation on the battery could be a thing. You do get 2 in the kit, so you can be charging one while you're using the other and kind of hot swapping them. And the pump's design is more durable than the pumps that came on the old handhelds. A little bit different profile on it, but overall a really good option for fine finish, trim, touch-up painting in new construction or wood finish, and if you want something convenient. So, airless will give you a finish that, with the fine finish tip, that's very close to an HVLP, not quite the same, but also super easy and user-friendly. Not much changes or adjustments to be made. Overall, great option. They sell for about $12.75 right now, and That's a little bit more expensive than the handhelds, but a little bit better pump to last longer as well. So that's the Graco Quickshot. If you have questions, comments, leave them below. Thank you.